A walk between the Secret Intelligence Service's two main mansions, one on either side of the River Thames, is not unpleasant, unless it happens to be raining, and on that September morning it was pouring. Neil Burnside was drenched long before he had crossed Westminster Bridge, and by the time he had passed the Houses of Parliament his temper matched the weather. Hunched into his raincoat, his thinning hair plastered to his head, he walked quickly and purposefully, while regretting the fact that he had elected to return to his own office on foot and not by taxi. But even in his new post as Operations Director of SIS, he did not earn enough to indulge in unofficial luxuries. An official claim for a taxi fare would meet a jaundiced eye. Suitably demoralised, Burnside turned into his own building and took the lift to his fifth-floor office. There he was greeted by an in tray that was a full 2 feet high, and by the more acceptable shape of his secretary, Diane Lawler. She told him,
"The Deputy Chief wants to see you, urgently."
Burnside scowled. The Deputy Chief of the Secret Service was a man called Matthew Peel, a survivalist who could sit comfortably on several fences at the same time. Peel intended to retire with the KCMG and his pension as the results of a blameless record, and to that end he seldom used yes or no if maybe would do. When Burnside got to Peel's office, 1 floor above, Peel was staring out of the window.
"You wanted to see me..."
Burnside reminded him.
"Urgently?"
"Ah, yes."
Peel moved back from his desk, looking slightly shifty. Burnside recognised the signs and waited. At length Peel observed,
"You should have been brought in on this a long time ago, I know."
Still, Burnside waited.
"But as it's intelligence, it went to the intelligence director. Not that that's any excuse. You should have been on the after-action circulation list."
Peel was fingering a dark red top-secret file.
"Thing is, some time ago, as the result of a budgetary complaint from us, the DOPC had a discussion on ways and means of supplementing the intelligence-gathering task. On the cheap."
Burnside scowled again. The DOPC was the Defence and Overseas Policy Committee, a top-level forum chaired by the Prime Minister, and which, to Burnside's mind, knew slightly less about intelligence than it did about the dark side of the moon. Peel was continuing.
"The Prime Minister put up the idea of using merchant navy captains to collect intelligence in certain foreign ports. From general observations only, of course."
"After half a day's training, I suppose."
Peel looked even more shifty.
"Yes, well... Thing is, the idea was adopted."
"Because the Prime Minister thought of it?"
"No. Well, not really. There was a committee on it, Foreign Office and the Shipping Defence Advisory Council."
"SIS representative?"
"Me,"
admitted Peel.
"And when does it go into operation?"
"It started 3 months ago."
Burnside gaped.
3 months ago? Then who informed heads of station?
Peel gnawed at his lower lip.
"Oversight."
What?
"Well, you should have told them, of course. But as you weren't told yourself..."
Burnside was suddenly uneasy. Peel himself was the ex-head of an SIS foreign station, and there was no way in which he would have forgotten to inform the station chiefs. Therefore, for some reason yet to be extracted, Peel had been desperately anxious to keep the whole matter away from Burnside. Burnside probed.
"What made you think to tell me now?"
"Ah, there's a problem."
"Oh."
"A Captain Hammond Alexander been arrested in Libya."
Burnside sighed audibly. Peel nodded.
"Unfortunate."
"Inevitable."
Burnside was grim.
"Let a bunch of amateurs loose. Briefed them to play at spies."
"There's more."
Peel's shifty look was taking on a tinge of guilt.
"More to what?"
"The agreement between the FCO and the SDAC."
Peel had reverted to flicking at the file, not wanting to meet Burnside's eyes.
"Difficulty was, the SDAC weren't very keen on the idea. Merchant captains taking those kind of risks."
He paused, struggling.
"We had to make concessions."
"Concessions?"
"Assurances, really."
Now Peel did look up, and he was pleading.
"I mean, far as I was concerned, there wasn't any risk. Not if the captains did what they were told. Just stroll about with their eyes open."
Burnside shook his head.
"Always a good bet that 1 or 2 would see themselves as James Bond. Start looking over walls instead of through gates. Writing things down instead of trusting to memory."
"Yes. Well, thing is, we have to honour the guarantee now."
Burnside hesitated, warning bells ringing. But even then, Peel surprised and shocked him. Peel said,
"We undertook that if any captain was arrested, SIS would go to his assistance."
"How?"
"Spring him."
Burnside's mouth fell open. He recovered to breathe.
What?
I know.
Peel was attacking as a form of defence.
But it kept the SDAC quiet.
The SDAC can't be that daft.
Burnside countered, still astounded.
They have to know that we can't go around busting people out of jail.
Of course they do.
Peel managed to make the whole thing sound like Burnside's idea.
What we said was that...
What you said.
All right. What I said was that we would look at ways and means that it might be possible to snatch Captain Alexander, say, on his way from jail to courthouse.
Burnside stared anew.
Do we get a commander regiment?
I told you.
Peel insisted.
It was a sticking point in negotiations, and I had to say something.
He waved a hand in emphasis.
Anyway, the SDAC don't know what's involved, do they? They think the Secret Service has some kind of magical formula.
So do you,
Accused Burnside.
by the sound of things.
Peel was put out.
We're not talking about a snatch off the streets of Russia.
But we might have been for all the control you've got over it.
Burnside returned.
And Libya's no better.
It is, as it happens.
For the first time, Peel became brisk.
Captain Alexander is being held at a place called Misurata, in a cell in a police station cum customs post.
So?
So it's not a proper jail. You've got a chance.
For what?
Peel groaned.
To get him out, of course.
No way.
Burnside was firm.
Can't be done.
Send a sandbagger. Send all three of them if you have to.
Peel was still brisk.
It's not as if they're doing anything.
They're staffing a load of paperwork for me, which happens to be their job.
Until a special operation comes along.
This isn't a special operation.
It is. It's politically sensitive, beyond the resources of the station officers, covert.
And daft.
Peel's lips pursed in disapproval.
The Foreign Secretary has endorsed it, with the Prime Minister's blessing.
The Prime Minister can't turn it down, can he? Not when it was his idiot scheme in the first place.
Just get on with it, Neil.
Now Peel affected fatigue.
And as soon as possible, in case they move Alexander to Tripoli.
Burnside took a breath.
Look, sir, you knew damned well what my answer would be on this, which is why you kept it all from me. And that answer hasn't changed. It's no.
I'm giving you an order.
I'm not accepting it. My special ops team is called the Sandbaggers, not the Jesse James gang.
Do what you're told.
I'll go to sea first.
Then go.
Peel invited. Burnside turned, started to leave.
What's Alexander charged with?
They don't always charge people in Libya,
Peel said witheringly.
but they do execute them.
Sounds like SIS.
Peel looked up sharply, but Burnside had gone. C. The head of the Secret Intel License Service was Sir James Greenley, who had been Consul General in Munich months before and who, the directors were discovering, kept a keen brain and great strength of character beneath an outwardly benign appearance. Now facing Burnside across the desk in his sixth-floor office, asked,
Do you think the Sandbaggers are incapable of it?
Burnside hesitated. He was unwilling ever to admit that his sandbaggers were incapable of anything, and he said carefully,
I couldn't commit all three of them to it, in case it went wrong, and I was left with no special ops capability at all. And it's a tall order for 2 officers.
But not impossible.
No, sir. But I think we're debating the wrong issue. The real question is whether or not we should be attempting it. We're asking the sandbaggers to rush in where angels wouldn't put a big toe.
The Prime Minister's approved the operation.
Sir James reminded him,
And we all know why.
said Burnside. C. shrugged.
That's not the issue either.
He paused.
And remember that the Special Operations Section is there to give the government a covert action capability. If we start saying that it can't implement the government's wishes...
Burnside hesitated anew.
Would you object if I saw Wellingham?
I wouldn't want you to see him officially.
He confessed.
But he is your former father-in-law. If you happen to collide and the subject came up...
Thank you, sir.
Burnside was on his feet. C. cautioned.
Don't expect miracles from him. Wellingham gets his orders just like the rest of us.
Burnside nodded.
But if I can get him to raise the objection, as you say, better than coming from us.
Yes, but don't forget that it was the Foreign Office who made the agreement with the SDAC. You'd be asking to back down from that.
Burnside nodded again and grimly. If there was one thing at which Wellingham was not good, it was backing down. Sir Geoffrey Wellingham was pouring tea in his well-appointed room in the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. Permanent Under-Secretary of State and head of the diplomatic service, he was, in his way, as tough and as stubborn as Burnside. Now he passed across a cup of tea to Burnside and said,
I knew nothing about it myself until today.
Then
Burnside seized.
it's no reflection on you if you complain about it.
It's a reflection on the Foreign Office.
Worse if we end up with 2 sandbaggers on trial in Livia.
But quite a coup,
Wellingham smiled.
if you brought it off. It would strengthen SIS's hand enormously.
In respect of what?
The Special Operations Section.
Burnside's eye narrowed in sudden suspicion.
Are you saying that the sandbaggers need to justify themselves?
Wellingham bought time by sipping at his tea.
Well, let's say that the Prime Minister is still unhappy about the concept of special operations. He seems to think that you've got 3 thugs sitting over there, ready to go out and indulge in any kind of international mugging. But
Wellingham smiled again.
if the sandbaggers can get him off his personal hook with this one...
Burnside remained suspicious. It was impossible, always, to tell if Wellingham was lying. It might be true, but it might equally be something that he had made up on the spur of the moment. Wellingham knew all too well that Burnside lived in fear of losing the sandbaggers.
You're saying that we ought to do it?
Not quite. I'm saying that you had better not fail in the doing.
Burnside drained his tea, stood, sighed.
Even if we get this captain out of jail, we'll never get him out of Livia.
You could ask the Navy for a submarine.
Or I could ask the Marines for my old job.
Wellingham laughed.
They might refuse to take you back.
I wouldn't blame them.
Burnside said and went. Willie Kane, the head of the Special Operations Section, had gained his promotion at the same time as Burnside. When Burnside had gone from Sandbagger 1 to Director of Operations, Kane had moved desks in the hutch, the Sandbagger's cramped and dismal office, and gone from Sandbagger 2 to Sandbagger 1. Thus he and Burnside knew each other very well, and it was an easy and enduring friendship. Kane called Burnside boss in the office, Neil outside it, and felt able to criticise or challenge as he liked, as he did now.
You're off your head.
I've been to sea and to Wellingham,
Burnside defended.
and if it's true that the Prime Minister wants to give the sandbaggers the heave...
Kane was sarcastic.
Everyone wants to give the sandbaggers the heave. Because we can never win, to alleviate the government's embarrassment, we have to risk giving it more embarrassment. Talk about a catch-22 situation.
Let's stick to this one. What do you think?
Kane considered.
False passports and visas to get us out. Or at least 3 fast camels.
We'll try for a submarine, take you off a beach with a dinghy.
Assuming we can get to a beach, having woken the whole of Miserata by blowing the front door off its police station.
Burnside shook his head.
It'll have to be a lot quieter than that. And you'd better not go near our station. The Libyans are bound to think that Alexander's hooked into them, so they'll be expecting a move from there.
Kane grimaced.
So what do? Send him a cake with a file inside it?
Burnside paused.
We'll tell the station to leave weapons for you at a predetermined drop.
No.
Kane reacted.
No guns.
Willie, you can't hold up a police station with a catapult.
I hate guns.
I know, but in this instance...
Kane turned away in disgust, went to the window, turned back, worried at a thumbnail.
All right. But you decide who I take.
Any reason?
Yes. I don't want the responsibility of naming the one that goes down with me.
Burnside nodded slowly. Kane was right to be bitter. It was a waste of time. And it was up to Burnside to ensure that it was not ultimately a waste of sandbaggers.
OK.
He said finally.
We'll tell them to stuff it.
Kane shook his head.
You can't.
I can.
They'll fire you.
Let them.
Decided Burnside.
I'll go back into the section.
Come on, boss. You know damned well.
The red telephone buzzed on Burnside's desk. He lifted it.
Burnside.
Veal,
Peel said at the other end.
can you come up about the Libyan job?
The Libyan job's cancelled.
Burnside told him, and hung up. Kane exhaled noisily.
You're crazy. Not even Peel will let you get away with that.
Go back to the hutch, Willie. I don't want you involved in this.
I am involved in it.
Go back to the hutch.
And you go to a psychiatrist.
Kane advised and left. And shortly afterwards the door opened again. Peel came in, looking far from pleased.
How did you know?
He demanded,
Sorry?
with defiance.
How did you know the Libyan job is cancelled?
Burnside stared at him, managed at length.
I don't know the reason.
Smuggling.
Burnside stared again. Peel shrugged.
He had a grip full of whiskey. And it's a temperance country.
Then...
Burnside opened with care.
Now's a good time to review the whole idea of using merchant captains.
Agreed.
Nodded Peel,
Never did think it would work.
and he started to go, stopped, frowned anew.
Did you hang up on me just now?
The phone went strange.
Ah,
Peel went. Burnside sank into a chair, both surprised and relieved to discover that he was still operations director and had still a special operations section. Across London, at a desk in a foreign embassy, another man reviewed a mission of his own. As yet, Burnside didn't know him, nor that he and his sandbaggers were soon to become pawns on a board that would stretch to the tundra land.